Wow.
Yeah, that's no good.
I wonder if you ever just kind of sparked this on yourself riding down the road. Oh yeah, that's that racks smoke. Fairly convinced it's in the electric here.
What's this?
All right, guys, day before Halloween now, October 30th, Saturday, and it's supposed to have some rain coming in, but it hasn't come yet. So I was chit-chatting online with a buddy of mine yesterday, and he has another Tao Tao, an ATA125D model, so utility, kind of similar to one we've been riding. And he's been working on it over the course of the last year, and I've been chit-chatting with him, and we've been trying to get this thing going, but no luck. And as described to me, it's a crank, no spark issue, and he's been through a bunch of things, and he kind of come to the point, and he's like, yeah, so what next with this? And I said, you know, we can't get rid of it without knowing what's wrong. So I'm gonna start digging into it today. So here we go. Well, I believe this is a 2017. Actually, the sticker on here would show it was even on the trails and running 2019. He got this in 2020. So I'm going to set up for a bit, take a few things off. I'm going to get my blaster out of the way, and we're going to pull the plastics off of here, footwells plastic, so we can get underneath and replicate the no spark scenario, and then see if we can just start stepping back through this and figuring out what's going on. And with any luck, this time I'll remember my my troubleshooting. It's been a year since I've worked on one of these, and I've taken some odd approaches, some really ad hoc and scattered approaches to troubleshooting. So let's see if I can be a little more methodical and get this little guy up and running again. Alright guys, well, I was going to have a little campfire while I was out here working, but with the rain coming in, it's bringing the wind, so I'm not going to do that today. So back over here. Pop the plastics off so we can get a look really at the flow of everything and start to look at what's here, what isn't here. So looking back, this part of the harness here, this is going to be the brake light and rear tail light. You know, one for on, one for brightening when it's depressed. This looks to be a new CDI bolted in. There is a good fuse in there. Excuse me, that's the regulator rectifier. Here's the CDI. And I've got another wire coming off this harness. Probably gonna have to look at a wiring map that's black with a white stripe going in. Oh boy, there's 4 wires going into this CDI. I have to get the key. I noticed that the coil is hanging here, and I'm not so sure that this bolt might have something to do with grounding. Take a look at that. Also on this one, this ATA125D, there's a console up here that indicates drive, neutral, and reverse. And the shift peg, the shift shaft, I think it's a handle that goes up high over here, is missing. Take a look at that. And let's see, I got a couple here to chase down. Headlight I just unplugged. Headlight I just unplugged. This guy, that should run to a, boy, I think it's gonna be like a remote safety box. I do not have that box plugged in on this guy. It's the big plug down there. Bingo. Yep, this should be the remote kill for the parents. And here's one of the two prong plugs that goes somewhere or not. New spark plug, another spark plug. Okay, so we know we don't need that one. This guy, I'll have to study that one. Take a look behind me. One of these plugs is the key. The key is a 4-pin. 4-pin. This guy's the key. And I have coming off the stator spliced in. Okay. Coming off my starter into my solenoid. Wires are tight. Ground into the solenoid. Running back down into my harness. And then I should have a big negative. Excuse me. Positive. Here we go. Positive off the battery. In. Across to the starter. Okay. And I've got another I got another 2-pin. That is the brake safety. Rear brake pedal safety. The idea being when you depress the pedal, closes that safety so you can then start. This is probably the other end. Right here. That's the brake safety running off the front. And that one runs into a splice on the harness. Alright, this might take me a little bit. And the nice thing though is that I have a working Tao Tao in the shed. I have baby quad, so I can look at the harness in there and make some conclusions. So I'm going to sit down and study for a little bit. And I'm going to get a battery on here. I'm going to get the key pulled off the battery, plugged in. So in theory we should be able to crank, pull the plug, put the plug up against the metal side of the frame and replicate the no spark scenario. Fairly convinced it's in the electric here. What's this? I've got 2 grounds attached. I don't usually see that. Wow. So here's your battery negative. That looks... Oh boy. I wonder if you ever just kind of sparked this on yourself riding down the road. Okay. Studying the CDI a little bit. 5 pins. This one looks to have just fallen out. I would make it top center here. See if it'll play nice. Click back in. Not gonna click back in. See if we can make it play nice.
That's no good.
This whole connector. This whole connector's looking pretty beat up. CDI looks fine. Alright, so we're going to want to know what this wire is. And if it were grabbing, it'd feel a little more grabby there. So what would I wonder? I think I might even have a harness hanging on the wall of the shed. Oh, I used to have it hanging right there. It could be upstairs. Even if I do have a spare even if I do have a spare wiring harness, though, it's not going to be quite the right one because none of the former Tao Taos I've worked on have had this indicator cluster. Here's something else, working to unscrew this, and this was kind of beat up, but all these contacts, who knows if the key was actually making contact. Probably was making enough contact because it would crank. I'm fairly certain with the key off you don't get even a crank, so this wouldn't be part of the spark scenario, but something we're going to have to swap out or bypass. It's just all melted, kinds of corroded. Didn't look at the stator, and actually didn't even try and crank it today. Didn't even hook up the battery, kind of looking through here. And the reason I paused, because I didn't get the key on. So it's all of $40 to drop a new harness in here, and a new harness will come with a new regulator, rectifier, CDI, solenoid, your fuse, all of your wires nice and tight, new coil, new spark plug typically. Frankly, less than $40 on Amazon. So I could replace the entire electrical system for less than 40. I think that's where I'm going to stop my triage today, because that'll also have the handlebar hookup, which these can be a kind of a pain to find because, you know, this one is just a 4-wire connector. Typically what I see on Amazon and eBay is a 4-wire plus a 2-wire. Yeah, actually kind of interesting. Where does this guy go? Because the ones I see on Amazon, 4-wire, I've got a 2-wire hanging out up front here that I haven't identified what this plugs into. Perhaps this is not the right unit for this one because it leaves this guy, which would run up nice next to that, nowhere to go. So also a question mark. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a wiring harness. I'm going to put that in there. Nice clean wiring harness. Oil looks good. You know, metal shavings. Everything's rotating through. And the shift lever. After that, I don't see why this wouldn't roll. And frankly, it's pretty good looking. See if I can validate model. Yeah, D125, 2017. Tao Tao. I did notice something though as I was cleaning up today. I thought this might have been some loose bolts, but that angle, that's not factory. That's really tweaked there. And pretty donkeyed up there too. So we'll end up taking this off, see if we can straighten it, hit it with the welder. Because that's Dad riding on the back of the ATV. Or maybe the kid up front and then the dad on the back of the ATV. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's that rack's smoke, but we can fix that up. So grab the battery, bring it inside. Gonna go get out of this this Halloween rain.